I want you, we can bring it on the floor. Never danced like this before. We don't talk about it. Dance.
Hey guys, what's cracking? It is Kraken Nation, coach of the Boston Bisharps, and today we are back with our CSML Season 6 draft. The draft day has taken place today on August 12th, 2016, and we have come out with the draft that has some flaws, has some good parts. I think overall I am extremely happy with it overall, though I must say it kind of really is a draft that fits my playstyle, and that's a draft that's all about bulky, versatile offense. It's extremely hard to prep for because anything could hit you from anywhere and you're never going to know where it's going to come from next. And that's hard to prep for, hard to play against, and a lot of fun to play with, I might add. So playing this draft was a force, and some of our picks definitely got sniped real hard. So this draft ended up taking some directions that I wasn't totally prepared for it to take, and so notably there did quickly emerge, some flaws did quite quickly begin to emerge, but we will discuss that. We'll discuss what I'm thinking as far as my mon, what went through my mind, what I'm looking forward to doing with each mon, and so on and so forth. So first up, we do have our Mega Garchomp. Mega Garchomp was a Pokemon that we really wanted last season, and would have been a lot more effective last season on our team, but unfortunately we were unable to pick it up, but we decided to still go for it anyways this season. And Garchomp is one of those mons that can utilize its pre-mega speed tier to really take advantage of that 102 speed, but also really effectively utilize that extra power on both the physical and special side, as well as the extra bulk that it gets from Mega Evolving. It has 120 mixed offenses. 120 is like a really respectable special attack stat. For comparison, other mons that hit around 120, Zapdos hits 125, Kecleon hits 129. These mons that are often known for their special attacking, and Garchomp hits a 120, so I can really definitely run a very powerful special offense, and of course 170 physical attack, hits something like 372 attack with literally zero investment. So Garchomp is now off the chain, and so we're going to be hopefully racking up some damage with this thing this season. Definitely a good amount of bulk and just versatility. You can't prep for physical because then special will bop you. You prep for special too much, and physical will take you for a ride. So I'm very excited, and that theme is definitely kept up with our franchise this season. Victini is making its return, and Victini is a great mon to be doing what we're doing with. Victini is again just one of those mons that you prep for physical too much, and special will destroy you. You prep for special, and physical will destroy you, because Victini does have amazing coverage on both sides of the move pool, as well as access to pivoting moves, utility moves such as Trick and Thunder Wave, stuff like that. So there's definitely a lot of potential here for a lot of great sets, especially when cored with Garchomp and some of the rest of this team. Obviously, the rock weakness ends up being a kind of recurrent problem throughout our draft, which is something we're gonna have to try to address at some point. But Victini is our franchise, and I'm really excited to see how it cores with Garchomp. Next up, we've got Thunderous. Thunderous is again a mon that you just can't prep for that easily, because the second you prep for special Thunderous, you are potentially opening yourself up to physical Thunderous. Physical Thunderous only has 10 points of attack less. It has 115 attack, 125 special attack, and 111 speed to go at it with. It also has 2 amazing abilities in Prankster and Defiant. So the second you think you're safe, clearing away Hazard with Defog, Defiant Thunderous comes in, sets up a +2, and now it's Thunder punching your butt in. Thunderous is honestly such a threat, with great moves on each side. Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Focus Blast, Hidden Power of his choice, or we can go for stuff like Thunder Punch, Superpower, Knockoff. There's just our options on both sides, which is honestly huge. Another effect to pivot, Prankster. The thing that I really like about Thunderous is never useless. Thunderous is always a mon that can do something. Even if it has 1% health, Prankster Thunder Wave is something that Thunderous can always do. And so I think that's a really valuable thing to have in a mon. Thunderous is literally almost never dead weight to bring to a battle. And so if anything else, it can just stop a sweeper getting out of hand, with Thunder Wave. So it's very rarely is Thunderous ever going to be dead weight in a battle. So just 2 great abilities, and the mixed offenses and the speed to really back it up. Next up in our draft, we've got the Kraken itself, Tentacle. Tentacle is great because, again, it does, of course, have much more effectiveness on the physical side as a defensive mod, on a special side as a defensive mod. However, I think you really can't sleep on what Tentacle can do everywhere else. It has access to Swords Dance and a really great physical move such as Knockoff, Waterfall. It might get Aqua Jet, I'm not sure, but it does get a lot of physical moves to hit with, as well as things like Hydro Pump, Scald, Sludge Bomb, Hidden Powers, Ice Beam, sorry. So it gets all the coverage it needs. It gives us a great rapid spinner to help us with that Rock's weakness, as well as Toxic Spike Setter, Haze User, just all around defensive Mon. Veno Shock could be cool. There's a lot of potential has going for it, and I'm really excited to have it be a part of our draft this season. Next up, we've got Goodra. Goodra is actually not on our roster as of the moment. We have already agreed to his trade at the end of the week with the Tampa Tyranitar, coached by Sulry, where I will be giving up the currently drafted Mon in this spot, Arcanine, for this Goodra. Arcanine is definitely cool, but it does really give us this giant Rocks weakness, and Goodra, while it can't necessarily patch it up all by itself, starts to slightly alleviate that issue, as well as honestly just be a great special defensive Mon. But even beyond just this obvious special defense, what Goodra offers his team is so much, because it can offer some speed control in the form of Gooey and taking hits. It's another Mon like Thunderstorm that is never useless, because a Gooey Goodra can always slow down a sweeper or some kind of physical Mon and open up the path for something else to come in. And that's a play that I'm hoping I'll be able to make and really utilize to its most effective level, because I really feel like people sleep on what I feel like I personally have slept on these kind of like makeshift 1-2 turn combos that can really make a game great. We've seen it before, but I feel like myself I've never utilized. So I feel like Gooey could be a start, or Thunder Wave could be the start of me doing these 1-2 move combos that really can change the momentum of the game very quickly and reliably. So Goodra again, 110 attack, 100 special attack, 110 special attack. While these might not be the most threatening offensive stats right off the bat, they definitely hurt and has an immense move pool to back it up. So Goodra is definitely a threat to this to other teams, and if one played correctly, is awesome. I was really hoping to be able to core this thing with Alomola, who somehow got picked up literally at the start of C tier, which I was devastated about. But Alomola would have cored incredibly well with this thing, with the Wish Regenerator combination, as well as typing wise and even the special attack compared to special defense compared to defense. Alomola was gonna be beautiful, but when Alomola got sniped, I was desperate, and I this is where this draft takes a turn that I was not expecting, because we did pick up another great Mon that fits our overall archetype, but its its synergy is but beyond that, its typing is definitely, like, its synergy as far as typing goes is definitely debatable. That said, it's a threat, and that Mon is Meloetta. Meloetta, yeah, it's not a thing you can sleep on. Meloetta is a threat. Pirouette form hits 128 speed with 128 attack. This thing could hit you from the physical side, from the special side. It can run a defensive set. You never know what you're going to be expecting from Meloetta, and that is really just something, again, like a lot of these Mons on my team can claim, but not a lot of other Mons can, I can't believe that I got Meloetta. It was just like the 15th C tier pick. Can't believe this thing was left that long, because this thing is a threat and a half of the draft format. Immense power, immense bulk, honestly. 128 special defense, 128 attack, special attack, good speed. Just this thing just spits power all day long. So I'm really excited to see what Meloetta is able to bring to the table this season. It's something I've always it's one that I've always wanted to be able to draft, and so I really amped that it came and I was able to pick it up this late in the game. Next up, we've got a Cavalier, who aims to help us kind of alleviate our Rock's weakness at least a little bit. A Cavalier also is really nice because we have a lot of Mons that can switch into fire type attacks that a Cavalier might fear, and a Cavalier is able to hit like a truck and take those hits. Other Mons might not be able to take, especially rock type attacks. Cavalier, like I said, hits like a truck. It doesn't have the greatest coverage, but honestly, it has all the coverage it needs. It also has the ability to pursue trap. If I wanted to run some kind of trick room team, a Cavalier can definitely benefit from that for sure. It's really just a Mon that can take a hit and hit back really hard, which is all all I was really looking for in this spot. A Mon that could do that while also alleviating my Rock's weakness. It might not be able to single-handedly hit on the special side. I realize that, so it might have kind of strayed away from that archetype, but it's still a Mon that can, one of those Mons that pretty effectively can reliably do its job, because it does have only that one really exploitable weakness. Next up, we've got Druddigon, and this Druddigon picture, oh, there it goes, it starts to move now. Druddigon is a Mon I am so excited for. I can't believe I managed to pick it up in C3. I don't understand how it was still left. This thing is just so versatile. Ooh, sorry about that. three incredibly versatile abilities in the forms of Mold Breaker, Rough Skin, and Sheer Force. Give it the option to run incredible offensive or defensive sets, all three of those moves. It can match up well against a variety of things because of this. It can match up offensively or defensively in just either role, Rough Skin plus Rocky Helmet, or maybe a Light Form Sheer Force, or a Mold Breaker lead. There's just so many options with Druddigon. It gets access to priority, immense coverage. It's a potential rocker. The thing that I love about it is it's a rocker that can match up so well on turn 1 against so many things and just threaten them. So I'm really excited what Druddigon brings to the table. And it is also our third dragon, which is very funny. We did really hog the dragons, but I'm chill with that because Druddigon also is a mon that if it can outspeed the fairy, it doesn't really fear that fairy because it can hit that fairy like a truck with something like an Iron Tail and Iron Head. I believe it gets even some poison coverage. Fairies are kind of an issue, but also kind of a non-issue. A lot of fairies aren't switching into these dragons anyways because Garchomp can click Iron Head any day at once, or even just Earthquake fairies aren't switching into. Victini, Druddigon has Iron Head as well. Goodra has Iron Tail as well as I think it has Sludge Bomb. So fairies are hard to be hard pressed to switch into my dragons, which is why I was not extremely concerned about dragons about opposing fairies. But next up we have Kecleon. Kecleon is amazing and just perfectly fits the bill of what we're looking for. But somehow also manages to do it all the way below in the NU tier. Kecleon is a mon that just can do it all. It has, I think the most notable thing about Kecleon is just its intense access to priority. It has, I think, Fake Out, Sucker Punch, Shadow Sneak. It might even have Mach Punch. I'm not sure. It has Fake Out, Sucker Punch, Shadow Sneak at the very least. Quick Attack and Mach Punch, don't quote me on. I'm not sure about either of those. But also has access to things like Drain Punch, Iron Tail, amazing special coverage. This thing's a threat. What really makes it so good beyond all of that, though, obviously, is its ability Protan, which gives it that extra 50% stab boost on any move it wants to go for. It also does have a very respectable amount of special bulk. So some kind of specially defensive variant, while not necessarily what I might go for, definitely has some viability, as well as just the ability to just take hits and still be an offensive Pokemon is really something that goes undervalued. This thing can hit almost as hard as Greninja with a Life Orb, while being a little bulkier, albeit a little slower, maybe running priority. You never know. It allows for a lot of mind games. It also has things like Stealth Rock and Trick, so it definitely has the options to really just be incredibly effective. And this thing was drafted by Classy Zorak for the past 5 seasons, who literally somehow every time, and it has been an absolute menace in his hands. So I'm curious to see what I can do when it is in my hands instead. Next up, we've got Levani. Levani, we dipped to the E tier for our last NU pick, but Levani is going to be a great Pokemon, and I have gotten swift by Levani before. What Levani really does is on a draft where the offense is so off the chain like this, Levani is able to set up sticky webs, not only be a mon that can hold its own as a mon that can hit physically and specially, but it can also set up sticky webs, which is honestly just so incredible for a draft like this. Mons like Victini and Garchomp can now afford to run speed, not like non-jolly or timid natures, and they can run adamant or modest or something and start hitting just absurdly hard. And so Levani is really here as a support mon that can also hold its weight offensively, just able to, again, open paths for essential Pokemon that couldn't have outsped other things before to now its speed. And it puts a lot of pressure on my opponent as it now forces them to bring defoggers literally every single time they play me, I feel like, as Levani just is really good at what it does. Next up, I got Avalog. Avalog cores quite well with Goodra, actually. After losing Avalog, Avalog was my next go-to for that role. Avalog is also Hazard Clear in the lower tiers. Access to recovery is nice, although Wish would have been nicer, obviously. It does have a pretty big rock weakness, and it is basically demolished by any special type attack in the game. So that's definitely some flaws, and it is a E tier mon after all, so how mad can I be? But Avalog has this defense stat that is just obscene, and its attack stat actually is like 120-ish or something, so its attack stat is like really, really good too. So this thing can click some powerful avalanches after taking a hit. It gets things like Toxic and Recover, so obviously it's going to be really, really hard to take down, and it's going to be able to wear things down. Meloetta can support it with Heal Bell, so this thing, again, while it doesn't fit into the overall archetype of this physical or special, Avalog is really good at doing its job quite reliably, I think, so I'm very excited to see where it goes. Finally, our last pick is going to be Dancy. Dancy was kind of a shot in the dark. We just needed a mon that could set up, I really wanted a mon that could also set up rocks. I wanted a mon that could take on dark types, as well as dragon types. So dancy ended up being what we went for. Of course, a lot of dragon types get Iron Head, so in hindsight, maybe this wasn't the greatest choice. Maybe we'll end up franchising it. There were a lot of mons I wanted in this spot over it, but it ended up being dancy. Dancy, honestly, though, that said, is definitely a mon that you can't sleep on because it does have those really even without its mega form, it has really, really good mixed offense and 100 out of this NU tier that I picked it up in, the D tier, I should say. So really great mixed offenses, amazing bulk, 50, 150, 150. The same bulk as shield form, Aegis Slash. Things like, I think it gets Curse, I think it gets Rock Polish, Calm Mind, all these moves that it can definitely benefit from. So I'm very excited to see what it's going to end up being capable of. But yeah, again, it was a mon that wasn't my first pick by any means, so we'll see how it fits in. I really did want like either Matang or some like Goodra was the one I was looking at, Matang was the one I was looking at. All those got picked up and snatched up before I could get to them. But yeah, that is going to be the team overall, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, if you enjoyed this video, leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. It is always very appreciated. Hopefully, we're going to be able to kill it this season. Our first opponent is going to be the Westerville Whalers, coached by James Sanity, who also has a YouTube channel. It's going to be hype. Definitely, I'm really excited. So we're going to see how that goes. Yeah, wish me luck in that battle, guys. We're hoping for a great season. After a tough playoffs run last season where we made it all the way to finals, only got absolutely railed in finals 7 ways to Sunday. We're hoping for a much better season this time around. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys later. Kraken Nation out. So we are just going to click Protect, I'm thinking, and see if we can get a high jump kick. And we do